Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. I'm out here in the garden. It's April 17th, and we're going to talk about tomatoes and maintenance. Now, the wind's blowing pretty good, so I'm sure the mic's going to pick it up, but that's just what you got to deal with. Now, these are my red snappers. I have three varieties. Well, actually, probably about five if you want to count cherry tomatoes too. But now I put these up in cages, and they're getting pretty tall. They're up pretty close, almost 3 foot, or maybe about 3 foot on some still about 2 foot. But when it comes to your tomato plants, of course, if you have them in cages, you got to train them. These leaves, if they get a certain place, they'll kind of latch on like a vine, which they are a vine. But when you're growing these, you have to, well, let's talk first. You have two kinds of tomatoes. You have the indeterminate and the determinate. Now, they do say that this is kind of a between a determinate and an indeterminate, but we're going to treat it as a determinate. And what the difference is determinants normally they flush you out a couple of crops pretty heavy at a couple of different times during the season. They'll grow up. They normally grow up maybe 4 foot, and they'll put on a bunch of tomatoes. They'll come ripe, and then they'll have another crop that kind of falls behind them. And they're real good for if you're going to do a lot of canning, and you don't have a whole lot of space for tomatoes because you'll get more in a shorter spread. And I don't mean shorter time necessary. It might take them as long as an indeterminate to start bringing on tomatoes, but they'll ripen up a bunch right at one time. Indeterminates, they kind of, you'll get a few, and so normally they don't ripen up as well if you're going to can if you don't have a lot of space. But anyway, that's got that. Now these are indeterminates, but I still take and right down here, and we'll see if we can get a good shot. But right down here where this leaf comes out, they'll shoot off a sucker. Now, I'm going to pop this off of here because I don't want any suckers down low. I'll let them come on up higher. But you can take this sucker, and you see those little hairs that's on there? This will, you can stick this in the soil. You can stick it right in the soil here and keep it moist, or you can stick it in a pot and keep it moist. I would take off actually these two bigger leaves and just leave the top to grow and stick most of this into the soil or into a pot. And this will root in real quick if it's kept moist, and it'll grow you another plant. So if you're dealing with seeds that, you buy a pack and there's maybe 10 seeds, but you'd like a whole lot more tomatoes, you can do that. And say if you're in an area like mine and you have certain things, heat comes on, you start getting blight and stuff like that, that's going to kill your tomato, you can start your second crop using these. So that's a good tip to know. Now, I'm not going to need this because I have way more of these than I'm going to actually need. But another thing, now this is, when it was small, I pinched off the blooms, but now it's starting to get blooms on it. And now if there's not a lot of flowers, the bees might come to this and pollinate it. I see bumblebees more often, but a lot of times they won't. Something about a tomato flower they just aren't interested in. So if you want to ensure that your flower gets pollinated, so it's that fruit, just take and bump that thing. And what you're going to do is you're going to knock that pollen on there and pollinate that. They have what they call a perfect flower. So what happens is they can self-pollinate. Peppers and tomatoes are that way. But you want to kind of train it up. You don't want to wait. You don't want to start letting it bloom when it's much smaller than this. And on your indeterminates, you want to let them put on their suckers, but you can train them to what you want, because as you can see, I do have other suckers, and I'll probably come back and get some of these lower ones. I could leave them, but I'll let this top go ahead and come up and keep putting out suckers. I'll just try to keep them in the cage. Now, occasionally they will come out of the cage, and we'll talk about a way to deal with that if that's the case. Another thing I want to talk about, and we'll get down here, this one here seems to be blooming pretty good, is keeping them in their cage. Now, you just want to kind of flex them and bring their leaves in. That way they won't run out the edge as bad. But you want to trim these lower limbs, and we get in here regular. If they start, now this one's starting to get a little discoloration, we'll go ahead and take those off. But you want to keep the leaves where they're not going to touch the ground. But you can see this one here is getting a little bit of spots and stuff. We'll go ahead this next time and we'll trim those off, because if you're going to prevent disease, a lot of it comes from the soil and it gets splashed up. Now, we did, as these were younger, we did a lot of overhead watering, which isn't a problem, but we try to go strictly with our drip line once they get up, and then you can take and the only thing you have to deal with is the rain. Now these are Cherokee purples, and they're starting to bloom too. We get around here where our blooms are, and you can see they're doing good. We've got plenty of wind, which that wind will pollinate them too. But the Cherokee purple is an indeterminate, and what that means is that it's going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it'll outgrow this basket, which is about 5 foot, and droop down and start down towards the ground, or sometimes we'll lay them over to the next basket. That way they kind of stay up high. It makes it a little bit easier. But on the indeterminates, now you can run out multi stems, but if you do, I recommend wait until they get much bigger. We come in here and we try to pop off these little suckers when they're really small, like this one here, and we'll just pop that off, and then we'll pitch it away. Maybe a little later in the season, we might keep a few of these, so we'll have some late tomatoes. We won't keep near as many, being we've got 2 rows of these, and I think it's 17 plants to a row, so we've got quite a bit of tomatoes to do our canning with from these and these others over here. Now these are some of the cherry tomatoes we planted, and the wind had really damaged these when they was little. Thought we'd lose them, and they hung in there. But what we've done is, and this is the way you deal with it if it gets outside the cage too long and you can't bend it in. You can buy these little plastic clips on Amazon and just clip it around and clip it to your outside of your cage, or in this case, it's going to train them to our trellis. Once they get to really going, their leaves will wrap around and hold herself in place. This one here is just now getting big enough to where I could fasten this over here. I kind of left it to the ground. At the ground down there, it will root in. In fact, there are a few roots coming out right now. I might come back and just compost it to stabilize it a little bit. It'll root all in from there and grow on up. But I've done the same thing with this other one over here. Clipped it down. Now this one here, you can see where it's laid out on the ground. It's got roots that's coming into the ground right there. Let's zoom in just a little bit. But you can see the root coming out from the stem. And that's what I say, from everywhere those hairs are, it will root in. But the wind, like I say, it's pretty rough on them. we do get a lot of winds this time of year, so we're going to try to clip it, and we might go ahead and raise it up a little bit so it can fasten down, and then just compost around it, and that'll really help it out. In here in our greenhouse, and this is another way to suspend them, you could put a some type of board or pipe frame up, and you can run this up, and you can just use a string, or in the case of this, I have one of those tomato strings that you can lower it down. So once it gets bigger, I'll lower it down, because these cherry tomatoes that's roughly about 10 foot up there, and they'll run all the way up there and take and go on up into the top. They'll grow a good 16, 20 feet in size. So what I can do is lower them down. Now, cherry tomatoes are indeterminate. I always try to do it to two vines. I'm going to zoom out, but I always try to do it where it splits into two. I'll keep everything cleaned off below that, and once it starts putting on the flower heads where it's going to set tomatoes, its trusses, I'll take and clip the leaves off below it. But as this gets taller, and it doesn't necessarily have to get to the top of the greenhouse here before I'll start lowering it down, but it'll make it easier for harvesting, and it'll give it more height. Now this here was an extra one that I put in. I had planted some extra seeds because I thought the ones wouldn't take off, and I put this one in the greenhouse here. And so my plans were to use 2 of these in the greenhouse. That way when it gets hot, they'll produce better. When it gets up into the hundreds, the shade cloth will keep it a little bit cooler. And when I can't get regular tomatoes to pollinate because of the heat, I'll still be getting some cherry tomatoes for the table. And we have some little tomato plants. These here were what I had left, my cherry tomatoes, 2 different varieties. And we're not doing the farmer's market this weekend, so these have another week to grow. But next weekend, we're going to carry these extras to the farmer's market. We do have a little bit of cilantro, and our propagated elderberries, we've moved them up, so we'll take these with us too. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit of information on tomatoes. Well, I grow all mine from seed. I encourage others to. It's a whole lot cheaper and it's not that hard. Just grow them from seed and not worry about having to pay that big price for a tomato and then something happened to it. But anyway, if you want to see more content like this, of course, subscribe, hit that bell, select all. Give it a big thumbs up and share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.